This area loves to hide waterfalls, and this one is tucked way back. You know, it's up a creek, which is up a creek, which is up a creek, and behind a rock tunnel entrance. This is the lower end of the falls, which I didn't even catch before in the last version. I don't know with that sunlight if you can see how high up that goes, but this is just incredibly beautiful back here. I'm going to creep up here and try and get some better views. And I'm going to have to climb up there. I'm trying to give you the benefit of an idiot's eye view of the falls by climbing up these slimy rocks here. Hopefully, if anything happens, the camera will wash downstream. Okay, I'm getting progressively higher up this slimy thing, and I know what you're thinking, or you might be thinking. One might think, that idiot didn't wonder how he was going to get down from there. And if you thought that, you'd be right. I don't know if you can track my progress from these pictures, but it's a little slow going. That was a bit of a challenging climb. Could get a little rougher from here on up, if you know what I mean. Getting a little low on batteries, so I'll try and get the best of from this angle. Almost to the top, though I may save that for the group I'm bringing up here in a couple weeks. I don't want to be too greedy. Also don't want to deprive them of a trip leader. Maybe a few more shots before I slide ass backwards down this thing. I know you can't see me in this, and through the rigor of this, you're probably picturing a Tom Cruise type. And if you are, you'd be right. Maybe a little more hair. Really interesting how it goes down that little hole and pops out there. Yeah, I know, the whole gravity thing's been around for a while. Well, I'm running lower on batteries and even lower on guts. So I'm going to be wrapping this up soon. My trusty kayak's waiting for me. So, one last peek up into oblivion. I gotta say, this makes a nice washboard for my butt. You didn't think I came down there standing up, did you? In the words of Douglas MacArthur, I shall return. Or was that B. Arthur? This is not an easy place to find, and there's an entrance up there, a gap between a couple rocks, and I will document this as best I can so others can find it. This is a closer look at the entryway, and you can see why it isn't real apparent. I'm looking out onto the creek, which is up a creek, which is up a creek. So I will get my techno geek friend Fred, or as I like to call him Fred, to map this out for everybody. Oh, and all this, I shouldn't overlook these really neat rock formations here. I got a swimmer here. Looks like the magnolia is starting to bloom here in Kentucky. Assuming that's magnolia, and that this is Kentucky, and that I'm at all lucid. And what are the odds of all three of those coming together? It's a bit of a hidden waterfall back in, well, way back in one of the coves and behind some trees off the main creek. But really beautiful back in here. There's another falls back in here. Very scenic area, as you can see. It's rocking a little bit because I'm in a kayak and don't have very good balance. Just a miscellaneous fall along the way. After some of the other stuff I've seen, it's almost tempted to turn my nose up at some of this other scenery, but it's all quite spectacular. Oh, just another place. I've had a brutal week and just needed to get away, and karma paid off here today. Now this is the falls I really came back here to see. Paddling friend of mine hooked me up with this, but I'm glad I kept exploring and poking around. I'm going to have to return the favor and show her my falls.